Welcome back to the Tax Time Show. In today's episode, we are actually getting information from Mr. Ajay Kumar about IRS notices, when one receives a notice and what type of IRS notices are there. That's what we discussed in the first break. Now, what should you do in case if you receive one of those notices? And before we go any further, viewers, I just want to let you know that if you have any question regarding this IRS notice, in case God forbid if you receive any one of those, or if you have any tax related question, please do not hesitate to contact Mr. Ajay Kumar at texttime@tvasiausa.com. That's the email ID, texttime@tvasiausa.com. You will see it on the screen. And most importantly, do help out your friends and family members. Also, let them know that you saw it on TV Asia during this Tax Time Show, and have them contact Mr. Ajay Kumar, because it's very, very important that you should be on top of these things very diligently. Do not ignore it. So, texttime@tvasiausa.com, that's our email ID. And many of you have been sending very, very good emails, and we thank you for watching the show. Now, moving on to this second segment, what to do when someone receives a notice?
Well, that's a great question. The very first thing, read through the notice. So the last thing you want is to panic about it. Read through the notice. Read the instruction. Don't ignore it. A lot of time people see the IRS notice and they don't want to open it. They leave it on the side. You cannot ignore the IRS. Even if you know it's a fake notice, it's a scam, you still want your accountant, your CPA to have a look at it. So consider it seriously. Don't ignore, don't panic, read through the notice, respond to it timely. All these IRS notices have certain time limits, typically 30 days, in some cases 60 to 90 days. So you must respond to these notices on time, and then all your responses must be in writing. You can't really say, I called this person and I spoke to this person and this person said this thing. Even if you are doing it on the phone, please request something in writing. And if you don't have something in writing, you respond in writing to the IRS notice with a certified receipt. So you have a proof that you responded to the notice on your side.
Oh, really?
Absolutely. The onus remains on you once we send you the notice. Once the IRS has sent you the notice.
But if you call the IRS agent over the phone, that's as good as written or
in
everything.
most cases it is. But let's say, for example, if you called the IRS office and you spoke to an agent, this agent meant to help you out, and then the phone got disconnected, or somehow the system did not record it, or you gave them the information, they recorded it, it did not go properly in the system. The onus remains on you. If it's not in their system, it's not their fault.
I see your point, but instead of writing it and mailing it and certified and everything, can email work?
No, IRS does not accept emails. I mean, not as of today. IRS takes fax. You have the right to fax something, and you can take the fax confirmation for your files.
That's better. That's a good suggestion.
Absolutely.
You know, find a fax machine or go to any one of those Office Depot, Staples or something like that, and then fax it. That's even better.
Yeah, absolutely.
But to put it on the mail and certified mail and wait for their response, as it is today, as you know, mails are taking longer to reach to the to the user.
Absolutely. Depending on the severity of the situation, depending on what you have, you have to make a judgment call to see if you can get away by making a phone call, sending a fax, or you really want to send the support. Sometimes you have to send certain support. If you have responded to the letter earlier, then you may have a certified receipt from a prior notice. Depending on the kind of support you need, you may choose different method, but please understand the onus remains on you. It's your responsibility to respond to the IRS notice. If they don't receive the response, your response in time, it's your fault. They will hold you responsible.
So first thing to do is to call them at least.
Well, first thing, don't panic. Read through it, understand the notice, discuss it with your tax preparer to see why are you getting the notice. You don't want to be receiving this notice. It's not common for people to be receiving the notice. If you are receiving a notice, something was missed on your tax return. You want to make sure you understand it before you respond to it.
Okay, I got it. Good point. People do panic, you know.
Absolutely, it happens all the time.
Yeah, IRS can make people cry or can make people laugh, smile rather, smile. When they get a check, a refund check, that's when they smile.
Absolutely.
And then when they get notice like this, that's when they panic. So don't panic. Okay, what are the other things that you like to add?
Well, I want to let our viewers know what can they do from their side to avoid getting such notices, right?
That's a good point.
So the first thing first, make sure you report all your income. If you miss certain expenses, meaning if you pay more than what you're supposed to be paying in terms of taxes, IRS will never send you a notice. If you claim more than what you should be claiming, and it could be anything, it could be missing a W-2, missing a 1099, or claiming a child who is not a dependent and the child has already filed the taxes separately, or claiming parents who have been filing their separate taxes. It could be plethora of reasons, could be many reasons where you can be seen as not reporting the tax returns right.
Correct.
So, and the way we check it, all this information is reported electronically. Let's say, for example, if your child has filed his or her taxes, that return is already in the IRS system. Now, when you are trying to file and you claim that child as the dependent, now we see this child has already filed the taxes and this is what the income they reported. This person is not a dependent anymore. That's the primary reason you will get a notice right there. And if you are trying to file it electronically, the system wouldn't accept it. A lot of times people file paper return. In the paper filing, you have to be very careful where you put the number.
Correct.
It's very common to see line 37 became line 38 and now people are getting notices. So do file electronically as much as potentially you can.
Okay.
File the taxes electronically.
Good. I have two questions in reference to what you just have said. One is that if you have your taxes filed by an accountant, as soon as you receive the notice, you must let accountant know.
It's a good idea. So you are technically responsible for your tax return. You sign the tax return. Accountant's responsibility is to guide you in the right direction. Based on your documents, accountant is responsible for technical correctness only. So if you have a donation of $5,000 and you're showing a receipt, and the accountant is putting the receipt, the accountant is only responsible to claim $5,000 under donation, technical correctness. You are responsible to ensure that the receipt is right.
Okay.
So you are responsible for your documents.
Okay.
Accountant should be your friend who you can say, I got this notice, please help me understand why I got the notice.
If someone files a tax return on their own using any one of those online softwares, which people do, right? When they receive notice, and suppose they either don't understand or they disagree with IRS, in that case, should they still go to the accountant to get an advice?
You have the right to. You always can. But the primary reason you're filing it yourself because you did not want to pay the accountant. In this case, it wouldn't be a bad idea for you to call the IRS, and the phone number is always listed on the notice, to at least understand what happened. And if it's something that you really understand, if it's something that you missed, say for example, you missed 1099 interest income of $20 and now you owe $7. Then you don't need to go to the accountant. The accountant will charge you $100 for something that you can get away by paying $7. So you have to judge your own situation. Call the IRS first if you file your own taxes. If you have an accountant filing your taxes, then try to discuss it with the accountant first before you go to IRS.
Okay, good. One more question before we go into the break quickly. Let's say you receive a notice and you take care of the notice, you make the payment, whatever it is. What are the chances that you may get another notice also?
It's not uncommon.
Okay.
You can get another notice for the same situation, for the same year, or for a different situation for a different year.
Okay.
It's quite possible. And you think about it. If you are making a genuine mistake, say for example, you are claiming home office expenses, a standard expense over $1,500, then IRS takes up to 6 years to get back to you. And let's say you have been claiming this expense for 2015, 2016, 2017, and you got the notice in 2018 for the year 2015. You paid for it and the notice is settled. But now the IRS knows the same thing probably happened in 15, 16, 17 because they sent you the notice in 2018.
So there will be more notices to follow.
It's quite possible.
It's possible. Okay, that's what I want to make sure. Very good. Quite a good information that you have shared with us. With that note, we're going to take a break. And when we come back after this messages, let's just talk about penalties, because with the notices, there are penalties also involved in it. So we're going to find out more about penalties from Mr. Ajay Kumar. Please stay with us.